Hi, everyone. I'm Gowei. I went to Korea. I should say I went to Korea twice. After coming back from the World Championships, I think I have a pretty good harvest to share with. This is the sponsor of the World Championships, Cube Banana. They have a lot of cubes on the spot, and I went to take a look. Not bad, and the price is probably the same as our regular price. So actually I think the price is reasonable. But I found something interesting unconsciously. They also sell cubes on the spot. Just like this. Then, of course, they also have their own cubes. Then I was very curious, so I bought a set and tried it. I tried it on the spot. I think if I don't bring it back to Taiwanese cubers, it'd be a shame. Really, I have experience there. Very amazing. I bought 2 Mailong 3C. Just like the test I did before. Use this one as. These 2 new ones, the ones we have never used before, test the cubes like this. The interesting thing is that I was there with other kids, and the cubers said, "Hey, do you want to try this new one?" They are all a little scared. Then I said, "Yes, you have to use the cubes that you don't want to compete with first." Everyone is afraid that their cubes will change. It may not perform well on the court later. Okay, come on. Let's take a look at the last test. The paper is still there. Okay, this is the real bucket type. The real bucket type CNL1, there is no CNL1, it has a label on it, but it doesn't say anything. Then this is their logo. Okay. In fact, it can be seen from the appearance that it is very sticky. Very sticky, you see this bubble here? Maybe half an hour can't float to the top yet. It's very sticky. Then there is CNL2. It has a small label, but I really can't see what it is. The can is in this shape. Then this looks like water. It's very water, like this. All water. But although it is made of real buckets and it has a bag for you, but after 2 or 3 days in there is still a little bit of leaking out, so it means that its fluidity is really good. It's a real bucket, but it doesn't have that pointy one, so it won't hurt people. It's really sticky, you know, it's like a polystyrene glue. It's so sticky, it's super sticky. Okay, let me try it on my hand. Very sticky, very sticky, very sticky. But this kind of stickiness is its own physical nature, so it's sticky. It does smell. Wow, I stick it on my hand. I feel like my hands are getting bigger. So is this a sticky oil? Okay, this push and push it away. It's on my hand. It became scattered. There is oil on this side, and there is oil on the places where. But, so it is, but it doesn't make me feel greasy. It's just that it's very sticky and then it flows slowly, but it's not like ordinary oil. There will be that kind of slippery and greasy feeling. It's a more water-based oil. It's a strange feeling. Okay, then this CNL2 oil. CNL2 oil. Okay, let's drop it directly. 2 drops. Okay, let's take a look. You noticed in the last cubicle unboxing, if it is oil-based, it will immediately penetrate the paper on the paper. If it's water-based, it won't. Look at this. I think if it looks like this, it's not like the oil I usually see. How do you say? Although it feels very oily. But it's not greasy and it's very sticky, then push it away. After pushing it away, it will form a bright oil light in the place where I pushed. But it didn't penetrate the paper quickly. It's not like ordinary oil. No, you see, like this is the previous one. This is the first thing 2 months ago. It will only go through and become semi-transparent. This oil will not. So will it actually just be a very ugly water-based liquid? It's a very sticky water-based liquid. I'm just guessing. Because it should still have silicone in it to be lubricated. Okay, let's change it here. I think it's more like oil on the paper. The effect of dropping on the paper. You see, the light has passed through. This is also oil, but it doesn't feel like oil. It's still the paper. The paper is still there. But after this drop goes down, the paper becomes semi-transparent. So on the contrary, this water-based thing is more like oil. It's amazing. Okay, let me take a look at it on my hand. Wipe it clean here. Okay. Well, it's very watery. Very watery, very watery, very watery. It doesn't taste good either. Then it's a water-based feeling. It's not slippery, it's not sticky, it's not oil. This is actually quite like the inside of cubicle. Let me see. It's a bit like Mystic dripping on my hand. But Mystic is more sticky. The feeling of water-based Mystic dripping on the hand. Because DNN37 dripping on the hand. There's still a little bit of oil. Oil or wax paper, you know? This is. No, it's really watery. You see. It's very watery. So it's just water going through this paper. It shouldn't really feel like oil. Alright. Then I'll be welcome. Okay, let's take a look at this Mystic 3C. Okay, this is a dry, slippery, loose appearance. Okay, if it's so sticky, I don't know what it's going to feel like. It's stuck all over, right? Okay, this syringe is quite convenient. It's not the kind of syringe that will stab people. It's a plastic syringe. It's not very thin either. So it feels pretty safe. But you still have to be careful not to poke your eyes. Okay, this long syringe can go deep inside. So it should be quite suitable for dropping high-strength cubes. It can go deep inside. The core part inside. Then I'll be welcome. Drop 2 drops. It's really sticky. This should be the stickiest oil I've ever used. Of course, cubicle solid oil doesn't count. It's so sticky. It's so sticky. Then when you squeeze out, it's going to form a spiral glue in the air. It's so sticky. It's stuck all over. Here, my brother's side. It's stuck all over. Are you sure this isn't solid oil? Okay, let's turn it a few times. When I went to buy oil from them, I asked them a little bit. I went to ask them the next day. How many sets of oil do you sell today? He said about 10 sets. So I feel like he's not very popular over there. But I can't say that, because Cubicle is such a big brand. Just put it aside. And those who went to the World Championships are probably from all over the world. You'll be more familiar with Cubicle's oil. It's so sticky. Okay, after turning it around, it feels like it's spreading all over. But it's not enough. It's a little loose here. It's not here yet. It's too slow. I think it's a sticky feeling. It should be more suitable to be used with other oils. Because if you just drop it, it's hard for it to flow to another place. Okay, I turned it on. After the first 2 drops, I turned it on. After turning it on, it didn't feel too much. To be honest, it doesn't feel much. I'll make a comparison group of this one. This one just increased a little bit of viscosity from the core. It's not very obvious that there's any lubrication. Or what kind of reduction, what kind of contact. This is the one I put here first, let it rest for a while. Okay, then we're going to talk about this CNL2. Because I've actually tried this one. So I know what it's going to look like. CNL2 is very obvious. It's a very fast oil. And it works very quickly. I don't know if you can hear the difference in the front and back of the sound. I don't think it's very obvious. When you actually turn it, you'll feel like the cube is getting red. It's very smooth, and it's very smooth on every side, and it doesn't matter what kind of oil is in. Cube. I think this is the most amazing thing. Because I took the cube I was practicing directly. Wow, it changes fast in an instant. It changes faster than a kid. It's amazing. I'm just very surprised. You know, after I tried it, I told the kid next door, hey, you can try that. And then there were two who tried it and went to buy it right away. It's amazing. It's going to be super fast. It's just that I'm trying another cube. It's already got oil in it, so it's not like it's going to work with the oil in it. And then it's going to make that feel sticky, but it's not. I'm going to take this stream now. And then I used to drop a lot of weird lubricants in there. You'll know when you do the comparison. It's really a lot of oil. If this cube doesn't wash, it's very sticky. It's very sticky, isn't it? Listen to the sound. It's very sticky, isn't it? All right, let's try CNL2. CNL2. Oh. I feel like the water is very full inside. Even though it's just water, it's in there, and it's in there. Maybe you've made it alive. It's supposed to be sticky, but when I turn it now, I think it's like turning this cube for a time and turning it hard for more than 10 times. It feels like it's getting lighter and smoother. Yeah, so I don't think there's much to discuss about this one. But that's also because we don't know what the Korean cuber market is like. But I think this is a pretty popular one. It's just that the foreigners and kids on the cabinet may not know much about this. I'm very concerned about this, so I'll try it first. It's true that the CNL2 has a very obvious effect. I'll try another one. Okay, this one is drier and smoother. It's too slippery. It's too slippery. I can't hold it. I might have to add a little bit of bubbling oil to get it back. It's so slippery. That's awesome. Yeah, I think if you want to make a comparison, CNL2 is a very fast oil. It's not oil. It's like water. And I don't feel any slippery oil on my hands. You can see that these two models are actually very water-like. It's not like this oil. It's not like this oil. Okay, I just created a period of time. This CNL1 lubricated Mailong 3C. It maintains the same feeling as just now. It's not a wet stick. It's a dry stick. Spread out from the core. Of course, we can't say that the stick is bad. Because some people really need this kind of stick to limit their feel. Restrict the cube from turning too much. So what kind of feel will be suitable for its cubes? Or is it suitable for its cubers to use? Okay, let's look at this one again. It's so slippery. If you only look at the appearance of 3C, then the one lubricated and the two lubricated. It's like two completely different cubes. Although the sound is very similar, but these two are completely different. You might even think that this is the one with the tighter lock inside. It's not. It's not. Yeah, it's the same. It's very open. It has a good speed limit. So what does it mean to use these two locks together? It's super slippery. Look at this one. Oh, yeah. After a while of restriction, the speed of the explosion just came back. Because there's a lot of oil in it. When it was just low, it was a whole explosion. Okay, after a period of restriction, the feeling of explosion is back. Let's see if this is better. It's still very slippery. It's still slippery. I can't hold it. I can't do this. It's too slippery. If you like a very slippery feeling, you can try this one. If you like speed control, you can try this one. Of course, if you're curious, try both of them. Let me see. Let's add each other. Okay, this one just added number 1. It's a little tight now, a little dry, a little sticky. Okay, this is number 2. It's a few levels slippery than when it first came out. It's the same as this one. I can't hold it at 2 o'clock. Okay, let me mix number 1 and number 2 together. Maybe it's their best combination. Okay, number 1 to number 2. What a strange feeling. Do you have time to go to that one? It's okay. I think number 1 is very powerful. It was very sticky when I first finished it. After I dropped this number 2, I thought it would become very slippery soon. But it won't. It maintains that feeling. It fills the gap between the parts. So it's still a bit sticky. Comparison with this pure number 2. It's a lot worse. It's a lot worse. Okay, I know. It's like a buffer oil when these two are added together. This one is really like a low-end buffer oil. It doesn't feel very open yet. So this one is really too sticky. This bubble hasn't been left to the end yet. Come on. It's sticky enough. Let me add a little more number 2. This one is also big enough. I feel very relieved to use it. It's a little bit more than a small one. This is the last one. I can't see the purple tiger. Okay, there you go. It's back. It's changed. Maybe the second one just didn't fall enough. About 5 or 6 drops. Oh, it's going to be a lot. It's a little bit slippery, but this kind of slip still belongs to this. The structure is on the dry face at the beginning, and then it slowly becomes slippery from there. Well, this is a bit more controllable. If you didn't add the second one at the beginning, it's really too controlled. Because it's dry, you know. It's too dry. This water may not be enough. Add a little water and it won't be so dry. But it still feels sticky. Okay, let me take this. This one that slips and can't hold it. Add a little number 1. Good. Oh, I asked the clerk where the difference was. He's probably talking about it. This one is controlled. It's for this control. And then this is for speed. It's fast. This is controlled. This is fast. Yeah. It's still very slippery. It didn't flow away. A little bit lower. Yeah, it's still slippery. Although he added this. These two feel different. So you have to add number 2 first and then number 1. But it depends on what you like. Some people just like sticky. Oh. Try it. Oh yes, it has integration. It's a funny thing. It has interaction. So this is water-based. I'm sure it's water-based. It's not oil-based, or both of them are. Because it's water and oil, it just goes straight in the middle. Okay, if I have 2 cubes, I think the first one and the second one should be about the same. It's this 2 drops, this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drops. These two feel different now. It's not the same now. It's fun. Anyway, what kind of chemical are you doing? Okay, this one is the first one to drop this oil, and then after a period of time, this water, and then the feeling is that it is stable and controlled, but a little wet, not very. A little sticky, but not very dry, because there is this. Then this is to add this first, so it started very fast, very slippery, just can't hold it, then I 2 drops of this oil number 1. It didn't dry out very quickly. It's getting slower, it's getting sticky, it's just slippery and it was just now, but it has that feeling. Slowly shrinking feeling. But it's still very slippery. So what does it mean? What kind of oil will affect the square? This is a water-based oil. This is a sticky oil. The results of the two are different. I should do a little more testing, it's pretty fun. It was originally very sticky. So after I added this water-based oil, it becomes more slippery, more open. But after a while, it slowly returned to the state before lubrication. There is a little slip, because there is too much oil in it. There's really too much oil inside, but when I just added it, it felt quite comfortable. This is a dry and slippery square. After adding no, I slipped too much. I can't hold it. I'll try to add some no. I have to talk about no. Number 2, no. I have to talk about no. I feel like these two cans are a bit water-based. Because it didn't leave a sticky, greasy feeling in my hand. Or is it a water-based oil? Oh, yes, after I dripped a drop. The oil is a little better. It's not so easy to turn over. Of course I believe this oil. With different squares or different other lubricants. There must be different effects. Today's video is a brief introduction to you. If you think you find it can be used in, you can leave a message in the video. I'll try it myself. This oil is really interesting. Look at me for so long. It didn't move. So it should be a water-based oil. Just use it. Because if you don't like water-based oil, you can easily wipe it off. It won't leave too much on the surface. If you have any questions, please leave a message in the video. See you next time.
不错，这罐我特别喜欢这一罐，真的。